Welcome to episode 6 of Talks with Q podcast. We on episode 6. Consistent. Anyway, this episode is called We Need God in Therapy. So whoever got that question right, kudos to y'all. If I was rich, I'd get everybody $10. Just play. But no, for real. Yes, so on this episode, I'm going to be talking about why we need God in therapy from my point of view, from my standpoint, on what I think, you know. So like basically, I started therapy in August of 2020, so it'd be 4 years in August. And I knew in August, I was like just sitting there and I was like, I need therapy. Like something wrong. Something ain't clicking right. And so, cause what happened that year? A lot happened that year, actually. I'm talking what happened that year. My grandma, she passed away on New Year's of 2020. I ended up going to jail. Yes, I said jail, so don't judge me, judge your mama. I went to jail on the day of her funeral on 2020. And that's when like the pandemic started of like March. And so like, we didn't have nothing to do, nothing to get by. Everybody was at home. We was stuck. And so basically like, shoot, all we was doing at that time, me during that time, just drinking and like low key suppressing. I didn't know like what I was doing at the time, but I was lit. Okay. And, just like, I was very, what is called, not outlash. I mean, that's a word, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. I lashed out. So like, I could say something, I just spazzed. And so like August of 2020, it clicked. I was like, I need therapy. I was talking to like one of my homegirls, cause I think she was telling me about her therapist. And she was like, you should try my therapist, XYZ. I was like, give me her number. So I started therapy. And I remember like on the first day we got on our Zoom, she was like, why are you here? And I just bust out crying. I was just bawling. I'm like, this lady gonna think I'm crazy. Like, and she was just so accepting. She's like, it's okay, just let it out. That is why I'm here. We're going to talk about it. Because I was like, I need help. Like, something is not right. And so, so I started my, therapy journey. And it was not overnight because it still wasn't clicking. I still have moments or whatever. And, so I was like, okay, I know it's going to take like, just more than therapy. And I, always had a relationship with God, like I always say, but that's where the like, okay, we need God in therapy. So, of like 2021, I saw like a little inch of growth, like a little bit. I was like taking some things because I had what I was dealing with a lot, like depression and anxiety, like trying to figure out like my emotions and things like that or whatever, because I wasn't taught how to deal with my emotions because I was like emotionally unstable. And people think it sounds bad, like, oh, you emotionally stable, but like no, it's just like how you handle things. And so that's why, like, too, that's why they say, cast all your cares and worries to God because he cares for you. And I always tell people, like, just like people who like talk to me and like my friends and things like that. I'm big on taking one day at a time, or like one of my favorite scriptures, don't worry about tomorrow because tomorrow have enough problems. And so like when it comes to that, I always tell people like anxiety and like depression and things like that. And I know people don't get me wrong, you do have people who deal with like mental health, like that's serious. But like when it comes to like, when we have like anxiety a lot and like worry and things like that, that comes from the enemy. Like he wants you to worry, he wants you to be stressed out, he wants you to have anxiety. He don't want you to pray. Like he wants you to get off track, just feel exhausted and like things like that or whatever. Because like when you start getting into, those spaces, it gets worse. And so like when, I was going through, still going through like my therapy journey, like my therapist, that's when she started, doing like, taking like deep breaths and like journal a lot. Because how like I pray, I journal. Like I'm not the one I can't pray out loud. I can't, or just pray. I pray like walking around in silent, but like when I'm trying to like get in there, I journal and like write. And that helps with your mind too. And it also like relaxes you and release you from stress. And so we were talking about when did we have Bible study? Last Thursday. And like I still have my moments because, I was talking to my friend Jalea because I was just like, like I'll be about ready to cry because I used to work for myself like 3 years. Like, I said all that, stuff. And like the other day, it just hit me because I was like, I had got so sad because like I'm grateful for my job. I was just like, I don't want to work a 9 to 5. Like I just want to focus on, my business and things like that because I feel like the days just be taken away from like, my creativity and things like that. But that's when like she's mentioned the same thing. She was like, well, you should journal. And I was like, that's what I do. Like I actually, journal. And so that's why I think like journaling is like a big thing, like when it comes to, like that's a part of therapy. Cause like if you ask any therapist, majority of them gonna say you should start journaling. But also too, I feel like that's a good way to talk to God as well. And like when I saw myself like being in that space, like, like this was just last week. I was just like over it. I was like, I'm just over this. I just started leaning towards God like more that week because it's important to like when you are going through like those things and like you feeling like frustrated because life gonna always like it's always going to be something. Like it says that in the Bible, it's going to be something. But we just have to learn how to lean on God and lean on his strength and lean on his understanding to get through things because it's not, again, it goes back to we worrying, we have anxiety, we've been depressed and things like that. So I really feel like, just having both is important and also having a strong prayer life because I be hearing like some people and I always hear like in the Black community, a lot of people say, I don't want to talk to nobody who don't know me or like who don't what is it like understand like I don't want to tell my business. Like I been to my friends. And I be looking just how I be looking. I be working on my facial expressions, but I was like, okay. I was like, I get what you're saying, but what if your friends don't know how to be emotionally stable? Like it's okay because we all been to our friends, but I feel like we all need, a therapist who actually knows the human mind and how it works and things like that too. Because I can go to my friend and we both, going through the same thing. Okay, we have anxiety, we depressed, we're going through this, and then we end up trauma bonding. That's not gonna work because we both trauma bonding she can't help me fix how to get through this. Like, because we're both bonding over the same thing. And so she could be telling me to, do this or do that. And it might not be a good way. Like, it might seem a good way because we're trauma bonding, like we're going through the same thing, but it might not be a good way. And so I feel like when you get an outside opinion of somebody who don't know you and who really knows what, you're going through, and well, not they don't know until you tell them, but like know how to tell you how to deal with those things and why are you dealing with those things. And like I said, it could be from childhood or even adult trauma and things like that. And they really know, like, okay, this might be it. So this is what's causing you to, act this way or be this way. And that's why I feel like, having a therapist is important. Going to therapy is very important. Like, it's not a bad thing. Like, it's not because you're a psycho, you're crazy. Like, no, like, I feel like everybody needs a therapist because we need someone to talk outside of our friends to teach us how to be emotionally stable. I feel like that's important. And also, like I said, then going to church. Like, some people don't go to church. Some people go online, things like that. Whatever your relationship with God. But, I feel like having God and like a pastor is important too because, just having, a pastor, he or she can help you in like, help you grow and teach you things when it comes to, your spiritual walk. And you just have a balance because it's like, okay, it's just like me. Anybody who knows, I've been on this spiritual journey, getting my life together and things like that. And so it's like, I'm reading the Bible, I'm learning, and God he works in mysterious ways because every time like I'm on like a book in the Bible, a pastor is talking about it. Because I be having so many questions. So it's like, okay, I can't talk to my friends who know. Of course, like we all, locked in, we could talk about it. We have different revelations. But also, too, it's good to have, a pastor or, somebody who's really truly like in that spiritual walk with God because the Bible is like basically our manual of life. Like, okay, well, what should I do, with these? Okay, well, how should I, what I need to do with my money? Proverbs. It tells you, tithing. Don't know which book that's in. It's in one of them. What is it in? We gonna find out. I can't remember. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm intentional, but I'm working on it. But give your 10% to the Lord. It's in one of them. I'll find out and I'll let y'all know. But for real, like just, having that and having like somebody to help you with that spiritual walk. Cause it talks about that, like, too, like our body is our temple and, just knowing what to do spiritually because all of it is connected, mental, spiritual, physical, like all emotional, everything is connected. So that's why I always say like you need God in therapy. Because once we, after therapy, you can talk about like, okay, this is how I control my emotions. Cause you have people who has anger issues, but we be labeled, people label you like you got anger issues, you got a problem. But okay, but nobody helps that person to figure out what's the root, what's causing that problem. Now you got some people who just crazy. But for real, like when it came to me, like I say I had anger issues a little bit. I lashed out. Yeah. Because it actually started in first grade. But when I got to the root of the problem, it started when my dad, went to prison. I was lashing out. I ain't know how else. I'm 6, 7. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to control my emotions. I don't know what that is. So all I know what to do is just act a fool. In school, acting a fool. Till my mama told me up. she was tired. I ain't act up no more. Told me down, literally. I needed that. But no, for real. So like you go back to that, like, okay, what's causing me to like act this way? Like what's going on? So when you start therapy, you talking about these things, you like, oh, that's it. Like, okay, I get it. Like when it came to me like having more kids, I had PTSD. Like I used to always tell my friends, I said I ain't having no more kids. I said I don't care if I'm married. I said can't nobody pay me $1 million to have no more kids. I said I'm traumatized. No, like I was traumatized because of how things happened, and so I had to really like when we was talking about it in therapy. She's like, "Why you don't want to have no more kids?" And I told her, I was like, "Girl, I am traumatized. I am terrified." I said, "Because if I have another baby, it must be coming from Jesus." Because no, but when we talked about it, I got to the root of the problem. But then I had to start praying about it because I just can't talk about it and don't pray about it and take it to God because He's the one who's going to help me fix it and get to my heart and change my heart posture. So now I want like 2 more kids. Maybe they're pushing it. Maybe, but I do want one more for real. But sometimes when I be in my good mood, I be wanting 2 more. But yeah, that's when I'm in a good mood. But no, for real. But when I really had to like, get to the root of that and deal with that and start praying on it and change my perspective of things, I was like, I want more kids. Like I want, one more. And Jay lonely anyway. Yeah. So that's like an example. And, and that's all like I be trying to, tell like people and I think all my friends in therapy except like 1, 2, I can't remember. But yeah, so we talk about it all the time. And like even when people who I just meet or just random and they talk about therapy, like I don't want to talk to nobody who don't know me. Well, that's when you met your friends, you didn't know them. Y'all had to talk, right? So talk to somebody. And I'm only like, it's crazy because I be thinking about everybody like I'm just so like, I don't know what it is. Is it an empath? Is it an empath? When you be like, you feel somebody, you get, yeah. Because I was like, I want everybody to go to therapy. Like, I really feel like it's a good thing. Why not? You got God, you got therapy. Put it together, a fruitful life, right? But we still have our moments, like, because we grow every day and things change every day. So every day is not going to be perfect. And I feel like that's why I'm very authentic when it comes to this stuff because people look on the outside in, like on my social media, be like, she is just so. I am, but I do have my days. Like you ask my friend, I'll be over here like, F all of this. Not like in a bad way, but like I'm just tired. I don't feel like doing nothing today. I don't feel like being bothered with nobody. I'm aggravated. I'm mad. I'm frustrated. Like, everybody leave me alone. I'm going on do not disturb. And I'm like, okay. So when I get in that mood, that's not okay. And I just feel like, okay, let me go pray. Let me get my mood together. And then I talk to my therapist because then she be like, okay, what triggered you today to make you feel that way? And so that's why I feel like, it's just important. And I feel like everybody should have therapy and God. What do you think? Okay. Yes. And so it does go together. And I think that's important to also to instill in our kids because like for example, well not for example, but like when it comes to um my son, like I'm gonna talk to him about therapy. Like it was crazy. He started like a year or 2 ago. Like he'll talk about his little feelings and like things like that or whatever. And cause he used to cry so much. I'm like, what's going on? Like what I'm doing, what I'm not doing. And so I let him like talk to my therapist, like some to like see, but kids have like different stages, but like as he get older, like I'm gonna tell him, like I want him to go because sometimes we don't we know how our kids feel, but sometimes we don't know like what to do. Like yes, of course we pray for our kids, but you know, it's okay to talk. Like therapy is not like it's okay to have a therapist. Like we don't have to go to therapy because it's something bad going on. I go to therapy when I'm having a good week, a okay week, bad week, great week. Like I always go and always be consistent too, just like you always be consistent with your prayer life. See, it all goes together. So yes, I just feel like now y'all can like kind of see like what I mean when I'm so big on therapy because it's really important. And also too another thing like when I went through the whole suicide thing last year, therapy couldn't help. That wasn't helping. The only thing that was helping was prayer and God, literally. Like therapy wasn't helping. Like that didn't work. That one didn't work that time. So that's why I say you need both because people do be in a like real like bad space and you talk to your therapist sometimes not working. But the person who's really going to help you is God. That's just no ifs, ands, but somebody. He's going to get you through whatever you're going through. So yeah, definitely pray. That's the first thing you need to do. Also, too, I don't. For me, like my therapist, I love her because we get to pray. Like we be talking about God, we be praying. I love it. Like I don't have to have that, you know, that separation from, work in, religion. If that makes sense. 'Cause, like with some jobs you can't really tap into that. But with her, if you need somebody, please let me know because I got you. Like we talk about God, we talk about she be sending me scripture, she be sending me songs, like we be praying, she be on there praying for me because some days I'm like, I just don't feel like it. Not today. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. But I really recommend like you do find somebody who you can really not relate to, but just build a bond with and like click with. And it might take some time. You gotta shop around with, therapists because some of them they don't be they don't be, doing what needs to be done. But it might not work for you. It might work for somebody else, that person. But, just find somebody that works for you. And when you do, it'll all work out. But that's all I really want to say on my little TED talk is that we need both. We need God in therapy, but most importantly, God. Because if you don't have God, then what do you have? Y'all let me know. Drop it in the comments. What they say? Drop it in a live chat. But yes, like if you don't have God, like seriously, I want y'all to think about that. Like today, when y'all see this, if you don't have God, you don't have a prayer life, what do you have? Seriously, like what do you have? That's it. That's all. But yes, that's enough for my TED talk right now. Some podcasts will be short, some will be long. But I just we want to talk to y'all and just, get this stuff out because we all need it. And I love y'all and things like that. So, yeah. Also, let me see. Oh, yes. The last thing. So, remember, I was telling y'all about the whole tithing, right? It is Malachi 3:10. Malachi 3:10. And it says, I told y'all I was going to get it. My friend just sent it to me. It says, bring all the tithes into the storehouse so there will be enough food in my temple. If you do, says the Lord of heaven's armies, I will open the windows of heaven for you. I will pour out a blessing so great you won't have enough room to take in. Try it. Put me to the test. Yes, Lord. Try Jesus. Try him. But that goes back to what I was talking about. I was like, oh, what? I knew it was something. I knew it was the M. I know it wasn't Matthew. Matthew ain't talking about that. Not Matthew. But yes, seriously, but try Jesus and try therapy because we need both. I need both. I don't know about y'all, but I need both. I need both. I love both. I love going to church. I love worshiping, and I love talking to my therapist. I love talking her head off. It be giving like girl talk, but it be also giving. She helping me too, because also this is my last thing. Probably not my last thing because I be running my mouth. That's what I'm supposed to do anyway. But it was like an example. One time, no, I was a ghoster, and what happened? Um, what happened, y'all? I used to be a ghoster. So like if something was like not right or whatever, I'll just like go ghost. I won't say nothing. You won't hear from me. I'll block you. I'll still do a little bit of that now. Just for some people, just block and keep going. But it was just like bad. And so like she was teaching me, she was like, you have to communicate. Because that's a part of communication. That's a part of like you ghosting is toxic. And I was like, dang, okay. You sound like toxic like that bad. Ghosting is toxic that bad? Yeah, it can be bad. That is toxic. That's toxic. She said what she said. I mean, it is toxic. But she was like, when you don't want to talk to nobody no more or deal with nobody, just tell them. Like, you don't got to ghost them. Just tell them. And let them know why. And I was like, true. And so, like, I had to really, like, learn how to communicate. I think also, too, because I don't like hurting people's feelings. But I don't know why I don't like hurting people's feelings, because I just don't. I just don't like hurting people's feelings. I don't. But it's okay. That means I have a heart. But I figured out, like, okay, how can I say this without sounding too harsh? That's what it is. And so that's just what I started doing. If I didn't want to talk to somebody no more, hey, this ain't working. We ain't doing it. I don't want, well, it ain't no we. I'm not. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm not. And just like, even when it comes to just anybody, like, you know, with a job, like, I quit a job. This ain't working out. My friend be like, girl, y'all generation don't care about quit no job. Look, if it ain't working out, leave. That's with anything. But I was like, you know, you have to just let them know, like, hey, it just with anything, this not for me. This is not what I want to do. And it could be job, relationship, business, friendships, anything. If you don't want to do it, communicate, let them know, and go about your business. Just don't ghost, because that's toxic. Yeah. But that's it, y'all. Thanks for listening to me and my little TED Talk. Thank y'all for always supporting me. Like I always say, this is episode 6 of We Need God in Therapy, because we do. And I highly recommend that all of us get a therapist, and also continue to strengthen your relationship with God every day. I love y'all. Like I always say, be great, put God first, have faith, and that's it. And I'm out.